Why is it important to have habits that are tailored to your personal situation, your personality, and just your life at this moment?
Welcome to the Productive Introvert Community Podcast, helping ambitious introverts who feel deep down that they can add more value to the world to really thrive in their work. I'm Mariela Franker, and I'll be sharing what I'm learning as an introverted entrepreneur, a natural productivity coach, and a mom while I build my business online and take care of my family and myself. In this podcast, you'll learn the mindset and the practical steps to naturally increase the impact of your work while making space for your unique strengths as an introvert.
Hi, it's Mariela. The first thing I want to do today is to ask you a question. Which one of these two things do you think would help you to be the best version of yourself without being held back by low energy? I'm going to give you two options: tailored action plan or a tailored habit plan. We'll come back to this question a bit later on. I had a couple of conversations this week around habits, actually. I just had one just yesterday. And the funny thing is, in conversations that I've had with people, the word habits itself rarely comes up. But when I look at the things that people describe around what's hard for them right now, there's this clear pattern that started to emerge, and it all revolves around habits. The exact topic or question, it can be different. Sometimes it's really work related and getting the most important things done in your work for your business without getting distracted, by those shiny creative ideas. Sometimes it's about combining life and work and finding a better harmony between the two, better work-life balance. And sometimes it's around communication challenges, interactions that are draining your energy. And sometimes it's around finding purpose and building a business that truly works for you and that also has a big impact on the people around you. But a common thread through all these conversations, and I've been having quite a lot of them, especially in the past couple of weeks, but throughout the past 2 years, the common thread that started to appear for me was all around the habits that people have. So to me, the way I think about habits is they create an experience for you of how you move through your day. And you are the boss of that experience. You ultimately are the one who is in charge of how you move through your day, whether it's around how you organize your time or where you place your attention at any moment of the day. For a while, I focused mainly on organization and time management. Those were, I thought, the holy grail of being productive and being successful. It just didn't work, no matter how much I tried. And now I understand why. So the question that I asked you at the beginning, which one did you choose? If we're already connected somehow on LinkedIn or through email, send me your reply or connect with me. I'm really curious to know which one you chose at the beginning, and if maybe you changed your answer towards the end, or maybe not, and why. I'm very, very curious to know your thoughts on it. These are my thoughts. So I asked the question, which one of these two things would be the best version of yourself without being held back by low energy? A tailored action plan or a tailored habit plan? Both are really valuable. Don't get me wrong. And sometimes it's a matter of terminology. What's even the difference? I'm going to explain to you why I think that a habit plan is more powerful and more effective in the long run. When I asked this question in the PIC community, Productive Introvert community, and in my mailing list, I got some really interesting responses. So not only in the way that people voted, but also the comments that they sent back to me. And I realized that there's this tension between action and habits. Often when we think about action, it's really this Herculean effort, right? It's the action hero type energy that we imagine with that. Um, I'm gonna do it. And you basically run into a burning building and you throw everyone on your back and you run back out. That's taking action, getting it done. Um, okay, let's go for a less extreme example. Let's say you're a writer, and in terms of taking action for you would be to write the book, to write the article. That's the thing that you do when you take action in your writerness. But what I've seen by looking at probably at this stage hundreds of examples, thousands of resources of successful people and how people implement habits into their life. It's really much less about those huge splashes, those pinnacle moments, that shift everything. And it's much more about those everyday tiny little things that they did and they kept coming back to over and over and over. And that's why I believe that habits are the most effective way to create whatever it is that you want to create. When you look at when you're really effective and impactful, the magic is often in the transition between things. The transition between an idea and execution, in my opinion, is habits, really. It's not the only transition, but it's the most sustainable one. It's the one that we use most often, and it's the one that compounds over time. The small choices that you make that influence the bigger ones, the small behaviors that you do on a daily basis that compound into a lifestyle over time, because it sits at the intersection of having that idea, executing on it over time. And most things are not built overnight. So, out of all those examples that I looked at, hundreds of examples and resources, books and videos, interviews, all the things that I've researched, things are built over time. But when we look at people, we usually see them at the end of it. And it's been 10 to 20 years before that they've been building, and we didn't notice them. And now we notice them and think, oh, they are making this huge splash. But what happened in all that time? When you come up with a new idea or new project, something that you're excited about. In the beginning, there's that rush, right? There's that excitement. Motivation is high. And then it gets tough. And you're waiting for this big splash to happen, for this thing to come together and to start feeling, yes, I have this. And it doesn't come. And you start drowning that feeling of being stuck by doing unimportant tasks. Checking emails, scrolling on social media, looking for inspiration maybe. But the effect of that is that you start distracting yourself with busyness. Yeah, motivation is a powerhouse. It's the driving force for those big splashes. The big change you want to make. Motivation helps us to do hard things. In the beginning, when you're doing something new, it's always hard. You don't have the skill set yet, the network, the resources. By definition, doing something new is hard. So if you're not motivated to do the thing, wherever your motivation comes from, you're not even going to entertain the idea. The beautiful thing about habits is that they help us to make things easy. Habits are things that you just do every single day without thinking about it. It's the autopilot things that we do. So when you come into that grind phase, that where it gets tough, your habits and your systems, those are the things that are going to help you to keep making that impact and to build your idea, build your business, build your dream life over time. Why does it need to be tailored though? There is a lot out there about habits. I mean, if you Google that, and I regularly do, you're going to keep yourself quite busy going through all those resources. So this isn't a new concept. I'm not claiming that this is something new. I think everybody knows. On some level, you've probably felt that, right? That your habits, the things that you're doing every day, deep down, we know that those things are not helping us to get to where we want to go. And sometimes you may know exactly what you want to improve around your habits. Examples around sleep. I spoke to 3 people in the past 2 weeks, I think, who said that sleep is the one thing that they would really want to improve right now. Someone else I talked to said they really want to get their business off the ground, but they don't have enough time because they're working a full-time position somewhere else in a company right now. And if I could only work 1 or 2 hours a day on my own business, I could get it moving. And then my solopreneurs who have all the freedom, but then they tell me, I love having that freedom, but I don't actually have a daily rhythm. And I end up not doing the most important things I need to do and putting them off and then putting out fires a week later, constantly in a state of anxiety. Do you see how all these examples, they connect back to the habits that you have? And that your habits can actually help you create your experience of how you move through your day. So again, when you go online, you'll find a lot of information about this. The tricky thing is when we look at examples, what we then do is we take what we see, we try to implement it into our life, but we don't take into account that they're in a completely different phase or stage and have different needs than we do. And what works for someone that you're maybe following online, maybe someone you admire and who is where you hope to grow into someday, what works for them may not work for you right now. Maybe that person has been in the business for 10 years and you're just starting. They potentially have a team of people supporting them and helping them with other tasks in the business. So the way that they move through their day will be very different than a solopreneur who has all the roles and who's doing all the things, working by themselves on their business right now. So that's where things start to get foggy because there's so much information out there and you can find it. You can probably piece together what and test out for yourself. You could definitely do that. But it's tricky to distill that information out of all the information that's out there. So we forget to translate it into where we are right now. If you have a young family with a toddler, baby or a toddler, you have a very different set of, you will need a very different set of systems and habits to create you will have a different, how do I say this? You will have a very different experience in your day than when your kid is, 5 and up going to school. If you are a solopreneur, you have a lot of freedom in how you move through your day. Like the example that I gave, it can be a blessing, but it can also be a bit of a pitfall, right? Let's turn that into a blessing. Let's look at what really works for you. When do you get into flow? What is your idea, your vision for your business? What is the experience that you want to have when you move through your day? So in my new coaching program, we go through the joyful and impactful introvert system together. The aim of the system is to help you to create this tailored habit plan that will help you to make the most of your energy and to take back control of your time so that you can be the best version of yourself. If you want more information about this system and how it can impact your life right now, schedule a free call with me. I'd love to chat. Thank you for hanging out with me again today, and let's talk again next week.
Thank you for listening to the Productive Introvert Community Podcast. If you're an introverted entrepreneur and you're ready to thrive in your own way, then connect with me on thefrankermessage.com/contact.